today? July 9, 2007. First day of principal photography on Incredible Hulk.
Everybody on the street, pictures up.
You know, we accomplished a lot of things with Ang Lee's version. It really works as a standalone story about the inner angst, the inner rage of Bruce Banner. A lot of stuff right out of the comics. And it explored in detail that one particular sliver of Hulk. With this one, with the Incredible Hulk, we wanted to go back to the broader sense from the comics and have more fun and have more action this time around and really deliver the Hulk that we thought audiences wanted to see.
On action, you let it spin, you know.
Oh, I mean, we can just start it and it kind of comes to its rest.
Yeah.
We met with a lot of filmmakers, and when we met Louis, he was a fun guy, he was a cool guy, he got this world, he loved the Hulk, and as he will tell you, when we first mentioned it, he said, oh, you know, no thanks, it's not really for me.
When they said they wanted to do the Hulk, I thought it was the Hulk 2. So I just came in and I said, thanks for being interested in me, but I don't think I'm the right guy for the job. They said, no. Listen, we don't want to do the sequel to Ang Lee's Hulk. We want to reboot the franchise. We want new actors. We want a new director, a new take on it. And I said, well, great, good, very interesting. I know you guys. So let me go back home to France and let me storyboard some ideas. And I'll present the stuff to you. And then you can tell me if that relationship will work.
And he went back to Paris, and suddenly we started getting emails from him with concept drawings and with storyboards and with action sequences, and his head just started turning, and he just had such the right attitude and such the right idea of fun, of smashing, but at the same time, he could direct actors, and he could tell performances and tell a more emotional story.
That kind of thing, you know, going up to the door.
Okay.
Good? Just coming behind him. So we can skip the first part. I'll never use it. Go in your
We looked at Louis' movies and we saw a very creative action director, terrific storyteller. We felt he's going to give us a very cool Hulk story. We wanted to see Hulk in the city. We wanted to see Hulk among people. And he showed the vision. That's where he wanted to go.
I wanted to see Hulk and his enemy in a big city where we could see the size relationship, because in Ang's movie, they were fighting in the desert, so you didn't know how big it was. So I said, okay, New York City is the place that everybody knows, so let's set it there. So I presented Marvel with that stuff, knowing that New York City would be very expensive to shoot in, knowing that, you know, destroying a city would be very expensive to shoot in, knowing that having two monsters instead of one would be, you know, really complicated for many reasons. And they said, hey, go. yeah, go.
Background and action!
We wanted to find an actor who really could fill the shoes of Bill Bixby, who is really the iconic Bruce Banner for a number of generations. And when we talked a lot about that, we meant someone that was fascinating and interesting in his own right, so that when you're watching Bruce Banner go about his daily life and his struggles for the cure in our film, it's just as interesting as when you're seeing Hulk leap from a building or smash a car or pull up a Humvee out of the ground. And there are not a lot of actors who can do that, frankly.
With Edward, we've seen his terrific dramatic performances, and there's a component to those performances in which there's a duality in the character. And that's why I think it was so wonderful to have an opportunity to talk to Edward, who's able to really delve into that duality.
All right, guys, let's try this, please. Pictures up.
We had a lot of actors up on the board. Casting directors came in with lists and lists of actors. You'll look at somebody, who do you want? You want somebody like this. Who would the top choice be? And Edward Norton was at the top of that list.
When I was first approached about the project, I wasn't excited about it, and I didn't think it was something I was going to do. My initial reaction was, no, that's not for me, because I was a big fan of those comics when I was a kid growing up. I can't explain it. I just think that it's very, very tough to do these superhero movies well.
I was not expecting Edward Norton to accept this kind of a movie. I went to New York and presented all my drawings and my, you know, inspirations and some comic books and gave him. And, you know, Edward was like listening and he was like bopping his head. I was like, okay, that was a good trip. I'm very happy I met Edward Norton, but he's not going to do the movie.
Oh, that's cool. I thought the odds were so long in terms of like getting at the spirit of those comics, that being true to my relationship with them when I was a kid, that I just thought I'd just rather not be disappointed, and so I resisted it for a long time. I think two things ultimately swayed me. One was that I really liked Louis Leterrier. He wasn't a big talker about it. He told me what his concerns were in a lot of ways, and they were a lot of my own same fears about the potential pitfalls of it.
I love that, because I love that angle. It's a cool shot.
I'll make a move like I'm just gonna jump
off, like, you know. Okay. And then you're about to grab. Pretty much, no, you're gonna grab the banister to go up.
Make a reach.
Yeah, make the reach.
Okay. And then a big part of the appeal to me was actually kind of bringing to it more than just being an actor, like coming in and being a part of re-envisioning the whole thing.
Like he's trying to, and then it's like, and then the gamut, you know.
With Edward, we were so lucky because when he came on board, he brought two things. He brought the dramatic sensibility that he has, and he also brought great insight and love for not only Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk, but the other characters in these stories.
I always want to direct actors. You know, like people wear gloves driving fast cars. I put on gloves to direct fast actors.
Turn your head left a little bit. Flex is hot. Flex is hot. Here we go. Take a chair.
I thought the casting was brilliant. And I think that's part of the genius of what Marvel's doing right now. You always want to go after the best possible actors you can possibly get. And that seems to be their mantra. That's what they do, even in these big action-packed adventures.
In our version of it, Betty has the totally unique quality of being able to look at Hulk and still see Bruce. And Liv's just great at that stuff. I mean, she just seems to have a very palpable connection to other people's pain or emotions, and she's got this great kind of wordless sensitivity. She looks just like Betty from the comics. Like, I mean, it's like, you know, when we went down the list of names, you're talking about actresses and things, you go, well, you could put her in a wig, and then you get to Liv, and you're just like, no, that's Betty. She's the one.
I actually didn't even know that they were making the Hulk again in any kind of way, so I was sort of just very curious and intrigued, and I met with Louis and the Marvel guys, and they talked through the whole story with me.
Excuse me, Dr. Stern.
Hello.
I'm sorry to bother you. I'm Elizabeth Ross.
Ah, Dr. Ross.
In some ways, it was kind of the best part that had ever been written for me.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Why do I make the noise?
Stunt women. Yeah. Stunt men do poof and blah, blah, blah when they shoot. Emil Blonsky. Very tough. Very tough because in the comic book he's this Russian spy, and obviously, you know, Cold War being over, we couldn't do the Russian spy. Tim, I'm here. Above you.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, hi. And one day I met Tim Roth. He said, I want to play that guy. I want to play the enemy. I want to play the foe. I want to play... I want to do that. I want it for my kids, you know?
I loved the idea of it, but I was scared, you know, if you do a film like this, I got to take my kids to school, you know? And I was like, am I going to be cool? Are my kids going to think I'm cool?
And we came up with this idea of a soldier at the end of his career, and that's why he wants the thing. It's like, yes, exactly, that's it.
In the end, it always comes down to small conversations with a director. It doesn't matter how much money you have in the end. I think it comes down to actors and characters. Otherwise, none of it really works, you know? Plus, you know, at some point, you end up on a lunchbox.
This is a whole new level of weird. I don't feel inclined to step away from it.
Good, cut. One more. Got it. Go it again.
Every day, I have to remind him, did you read the screenplay? Did you read the screenplay?
Yeah, so every day,
when you signed on to this,
day,
did you actually read the screenplay?
I tell him no, of course I didn't. And I have to tell him
With
that.
all the complaining, I'm like,
Every day.
hold on.
William Hurt's one of the best actors. His name came up, and again, we looked at each other and thought, well, he would be great. He's an amazing actor. You look at his nominated performance in A History of Violence. And I said, he clearly has something in him that he doesn't let out very often. What if we asked him to come on board this? And he looks totally different. He looks like he stepped out of the panels of the comic book to become Thunderbolt Ross.
So next time, more feelings.
More feelings.
More feelings, like a little bit more emotional next time.
I don't think that's what actors are supposed to do.
Okay, here we go, guys.
We went into this meeting during the initial rehearsal period, and the person who kicked me over the line was Kevin.
Move your asses!
And he said, it's the mustache. I mean, you just go to the comic book. And I was like going, yeah, that's right. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Because in every one of the iterations of the comic book, there's the theme of him, you know. He's got that silver hair, and he's got the silver stash, and he's got the big eyebrows and all the rest of it. And I thought, oh, this is great. I can make a bold statement. I can do something bold.
Films of this size are about the race to release. Once you get a release date, the clock is ticking.
So your Queen's Park is Friday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We put our 5 days there.
Yep.
Oh, I feel better about that.
Yep.
I always like to say when you're doing one of these movies, you know, that it's a little like eating an elephant. You know, you got to eat it one bite at a time. So that's great. We got a week of buffer if we had a problem. Yeah.
So what we'd like to do is we're going to go through in schedule order. You should all have shooting schedules in front of you. Our goal here is to try, let me give you a quick overview, and then we'll get into details of each scenes. But Monday the 16th, we're at Consumer's Glass.
Sometimes being forced into a situation, a convenience of logistics, or pressure to achieve a schedule can add to the greatness of the final outcome. And we put our heads together and figured out, how do we make this movie? It's massive. And one of the glorious finds we had was the Consumers.
It was like a real huge cavernous rusted factory that could have collapsed any second. But we're like, okay, I think it can hold one more week.
Yeah, the bottling plant in Hamilton is the most dangerous building I've ever been in my life. But short of that, we shot there, and we had to put the Hulk in a very, almost an Aliens-like atmosphere. Very dark, in and out of shadows, and it was the perfect location for that.
We're here at Consumer's Glass in Hamilton, and this is the primary infrastructure for the whole of the bottling plant. Most of the action sequence happens here, and this is our kind of the belly of the beast of the bottling factory itself. And this particular place has the grit. It meant everything to the movie. The amount of detail, the amount of erosion, the amount of strength, the amount of color.
What's cool here, I mean, if you want to take a step forward, you'll see all that stuff is great for low angles and high angles and beautiful. Shadows and everything. Okay?
It's got all those textures that we envisioned in the whole of the film, so we based all of our impressions for the rest of the film basically off of this site.
Blonsky is up there, so he sees the Hulk walking by him, so the Hulk will pick him up from up there.
This factory was like, take it, it's yours, we're destroying it next week, so, you want it, stop us from destroying it, and shoot your stuff, check your neg, if you have everything you want, we destroy it.
Ready, and action!
For me, it looked like Blade Runner. It was this wonderful, beautiful set. But I know that the guys, when they went in there to turn it into that, it was filthy. That place was filthy before we got there.
Kirk did an amazing job because I was like, see this factory? Yeah, it's big and nice, a big empty hall. Well, can you make it a bottling factory? And Kirk is like, yeah, man, I think it's possible. And he was not thinking about it. His assistant, art director, was like, factory, bottles, things, impossible, how we do it, and everything. And Kirk did it. I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
A lot of times I came to the set and realized that Louis and Kirk had gone much bigger with it than I'd had in my head. Much bigger, like where the scale of it was really amazing to me.
And Kirk came up with the idea of downstairs at this bottling factory of creating another series of sets that we had to have, which was this army base.
Underneath Consumers was the perfect opportunity to create an entire military establishment underground. Everybody in production saw it and understood it, and we went for it and basically turned the bowels of Consumer's Glass into a really sophisticated NORAD-based Cold War-era Army Control Center.
Bravo 236, take 5.
You know, you really hope that it's going to be great, but sometimes there's these spectacular happy accidents that happen, and this one is loaded with them. So it's really great. I'm going to look like $1 million because I just walked into the right place. That's a good thing.
It's basically a beehive of activity around here right now.
One of the sequences, General Ross and his team fly to Rio in a C-130. Well, we all know, I mean, you don't have C-130s just sitting around doing nothing.
The parallels between the military and the film industry are actually quite surprising. We've got a director in charge of the movie business. We've got a wing commander in charge of the base. Everybody listens to what they say, and everybody wants to give them what they want.
That you come around and you go around the back end. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's good. Okay. Do you want to see if you can do that? Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, guys, let's restart as quick as we can.
We learned about several C-130s that existed over at the Air Force Base in Trenton. So we got some terrific cooperation from the Canadian Armed Forces. They provided us with a C-130, and we brought in some helicopters, and it gave it a real sense of authenticity.
Tower Hulk ground, can you clear Hulk 01 only to come in and land? He can stay south of 24 and pick up the actor here in Gulf Taxiway. Yeah, roger.
Our aircraft technicians have never had an experience like this. Not only have they been fixing the planes that we're using, the Hercules, for the shoot, but also we've actually got them into American soldier outfits, and we've got them as part of the movie as well.
The same guys towing last night are the same guys towing this night, and put it in the same position. Exactly the same. No difference?
Nope.
Perfect. I'll go tell
difference.
them. Good man. Thanks. Appreciate it, Kyle.
They just have that can-do spirit. They didn't have to because, they're fighting a war in Afghanistan. But we were lucky enough that they said yes to us, and it worked out beautifully.
Maybe I can do an haiku or something. Sun, beautiful sun, lands before my shot is ready.
Stand by to bring up flames. Stand by to bring up water. Stand by to go hot on poppers.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well, when Louis said that he wanted the climax of the film in Harlem, at 125th Street, in front of the Apollo Theater, I said, bring it. Then he said, we really can't go to New York and shoot in Harlem. We can't trash anything. How are we going to do this?
One of the reasons we chose Toronto, Canada, as our shooting location is because the mayor of Toronto was a Hulk fan. He really helped us to close down a significant portion of Yonge Street, a big thoroughfare in the downtown Toronto.
I like it better on this side because then I can always do, that's my favorite side, but...
You ask them, you say, look, this is what we intend. We want to turn 4 blocks of Yonge Street into a backlot.
It sounds to me like, based on what he's saying in terms of the traffic patterns and all that, and what they're sensitive about, that we're best off staying with the same direction the abomination travels, so that we start our work up there and work our way down. You know what I mean?
We want to get in there as early in the evening as we can and shoot all night long until the sun comes up. On a smaller scale, it was a little like the generals designing the invasion of Normandy or something. It felt like that anyway for us.
Complete chaos. Organized chaos.
Closing Yonge Street is tantamount to shooting yourself in the head because, this is a great undertaking.
This really is the Champs-Élysées, the Times Square. It's the busiest neighborhood in whole Toronto. And it's not like we come in, we set up 3 cameras and off we go. We had burning buses, turned over cars, explosions, lights galore. So it was very gutsy, and I must thank the city of Toronto because we were given absolute freedom from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m.
It's obviously too high.
There's approximately 100 cars, a lot of them on fire. We needed to be able to deploy our effects in a hurry. We needed to be able to make cars flip over, hop, blow up, jerk, all those kind of things, and be able to do that with the, kind of military precision and speed.
It looks like a war zone. And we were throwing cars around, and we were destroying buildings, and we had these things called poppers.
Popper. Poppers are a real simple device. It's a quantifiable load. quantifiable fireball. You pretty well know exactly what it's going to do every time. So in a little canister, and it expands approximately 240 times.
Popper.
So you get a reasonable sized fireball.
Which Louis loved. He was constantly screaming, more poppers, more poppers.
Which, you know, you had to keep on top of because he'll kind of pop it here and there. He's safe, but he loves those poppers, so they kind of went off everywhere.
Popper, 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 popper.
It's like something you put under a car or anything, and you set it up, and it just explodes, and it's pretty cool. I think I like blowing stuff up. I don't know. I think I get that.
3, 2, 1, go!
So I'm going to popper 1, 1, 2, 2, 3.
The Russian arm vehicle, I mean, I want one. It's a Mercedes with essentially what is like a Steadicam arm. We're able to do shots that I didn't think were possible.
You use it every time. It's great. It's a great toy. It goes...
You really get some amazing dynamic shots. And Louis, of course, would ride in the back of the Russian arm most of the time, looking at the monitor.
More distance, but he's gonna leave sooner. So that'll, you'll be fine. You don't change your speed.
I'd never used it, and they just got it in Toronto. It was the first time everybody was using it there.
And Louis, do you want me to just keep it straight, pan a little bit? Do you want me to just give it a little bit of motion?
Popper 1, 1, 2, 2.
And we broke it in nice. Actually, you literally kind of broke it.
Go! Ready, and Johnny roll.
As a producer, you're always looking at your watch. You're always making sure that you're on schedule, that you're on time. You're looking for where the sun is going to come up and end our day for us. When you have a crew that's this professional, it's like a military operation. It goes from a road completely destroyed by the Hulk and Abomination, and you think this is going to take weeks to clean up. In about 15, 20 minutes, it's gone, and the street is open for traffic.
That the city allowed us to do it, that we did it elegantly, and we did it with class and effectiveness. We got our job done in the 4 days it required. It was a genius work of art.
You know, in the comic books, the Hulk is not tethered to any one location. And in the television series, it was about Bruce Banner traveling from town to town across the whole country. We wanted to take that and expand it even further around the whole world. We love the idea of a manhunt that was global.
If there's one place on this planet that's right for a chase sequence, it's Rio.
3, 2, 1, action!
There's no straight lines. So in essence, if you need to go to A to B, you're going through an alley, you're going on a roof, you're going through a street, you're going into a slum, onto a cobblestone streets. It's endless. It's endless of the textures and the variety of places to go.
Frankly, just being in the favelas in Brazil was really amazing, working in a place like that where everywhere you look, it's kind of fantastic. I think Louis had a really great sense of the scale of it.
People have to experience the favela once in their life. That it should be, you know, in one of these, 10 things you do before you die. Visiting a favela has to be one because it's thrilling.
Molto bon. And action. Good.
For those of you that don't know what a favela is, I didn't know until I went there. But there are these communities that literally hundreds of thousands of people live in.
76 Bravo, take 2.
Ready, and action.
They're built on hillsides, and they're one structure on top of another structure on top of another structure on top. I mean, it's just a mass of structures, and there's little corridors, little alleyways that work their way through them, and stairways going down to the next level.
There's definitely no codes there.
And action now!
I think it's basically if someone's there and they have a view, and if someone builds in front of them, the other guy just goes, you know what, let's build up top, and they keep building higher and higher, and some of these things you just look down and you hope it's going to still be there when you're walking around on top.
When shooting in Brazil, don't go during the rainy season. Just be smart about it.
Unfortunately, it's raining. And everywhere we go, it's raining. And it's not supposed to be raining in the scene, so we have to wait. It's rainforest. Main unit got soaking wet. That's funny.
That forest was interesting because the concept of rainforest, but like emphasis on rain. Forest was one thing, but imagine the crew carrying the equipment. It was another. And obviously, I want 1,000 shots all the time. Come on, let's move and everything. And I don't want my camera to stop moving, so we had to have the same toys, techno crane.
We'd be getting ready to shoot, be like, all right, well, we'll knock this off fast or something, and I would hear Louis go, so techno, and I would go, techno crane, what? Like he uses a techno crane like other people use a shoulder cam.
The crew was miserable, I was miserable. I think it really helped the scene.
It made for a beautiful shot. Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. It's a beautiful shot. It's a beautiful shot.
One of the reasons we brought Louis into this process and hired him to direct this film was because his camera and his other features, it never stops. It just keeps the momentum going.
Louis got a lot of toys. I mean, he comes up with all kinds of ways I'd never even heard of to move a camera. It's not frivolous. They end up in the movie.
With challenges galore, but who cares? It was the end of the movie, everybody was exhausted but happy, it was great. And that was so frustrating for me because I wanted to shoot everything and I only had, 5-7 days to shoot there and the weather was not cooperating. I was like, oh man, I want to shoot that. So Brazil, I'll be back.
Hey guys, that is good night and goodbye to the Incredible Hulk in Rio. Thank you all very much.
Back to LA, and afterwards, so today's Friday, back to LA tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday sleep, and Monday edit. And even when we're done with all the principal photography, there'll be additional photography, and then there'll be promotional photography, and there'll be promotion period. And still, when the movie comes out, I'll